Hello team. Today I want to talk about accessory work. Now, so within CrossFit, the majority of movements are functional movements. They use whole body movements. For example, thrusters, squats. Okay, you've got some squats, so that's a lot of leg work. You've got press overhead, so some shoulders, some back work to stabilize your chest, triceps, so on and so forth. So all of those muscles are moving at any one point. Within functional movements, when we use whole body movements, we generally utilize the stronger muscle groups. For example, if you have a stronger one-sided glute, that's going to then predominantly overpower the movement, which could then lead to injuries or problems later on when you do other exercises. So today, what we're going to go through is a few of my go-to accessory movements to help with maybe some back strength, some shoulder strength, so maybe some glutes or hamstrings. So first movement is a single leg standing good morning. Okay, so what we would do, okay, is we would stand close to the wall. All right, foot would be up against this wall here. Okay, and this other side would be on the floor. Okay, I want to find something that is where the weight distribution goes predominantly through one leg. If we're too close, what we're going to tend to find then is we're going to lean onto the wall a little bit too much. Okay, so from here, this is perfect for me. All right, I would have 2 dumbbells maybe or 2 kettlebells, and then from there, I would then isolate this glute, sit back, hit that bottom position to where I feel uncomfortable, which is there, and then stand. Okay. All right then, so here is your single arm work. So this is the seated row, all right, the single arm seated row. Great movement here, okay? So feet want to be flat on the plates, on the little platforms. Little neutral grip with this, okay? You slightly want to lean back, okay? But keep everything nice and tight. You don't want that rounded back. So keep everything nice and tight. And from there, really isolate this. Keep this elbow tucked in and pull, all right? Fully extend here. Okay, same again, pull and squeeze. You generally want to be doing, anytime you're doing any accessory work or anything that is single arm or single leg, is always do the weaker side first. Through life, what you generally have is a weaker side and a stronger side. This comes from predominantly, sports movements where they're predominantly one side, like tennis or football or rugby maybe has you throwing and tossing one way, or your general day-to-day life. So it could be maybe you're carrying a child, carrying shopping, predominantly writing on one side. When you step and stand up, you stand up like so, one-sided. It's best to kind of do the weak arm or weak leg first and try and get them to catch up. They're not necessarily going to catch up to some extent, because obviously you're going to be overpowering that movement with predominantly doing one-sided movements all the time. Like, as I say, carrying and picking up things, you naturally do these things. But certainly what you want to try and do is make sure that they're getting as close as they are together as they possibly can, as opposed to them going further and further away. Because what you're going to tend to find is one side's going to overpower and be more dominant. Let's say, for example, if you were to clean and jerk, or whether you were snatching, you could maybe find that one side is taking a lot of brunt force. Maybe if you're doing presses overhead or doing handstand push-ups and you've got one side that is weaker and also as well predominantly unstable, what you want to try and do, as I say, is try and fix that. And this is why accessory work and single arm or single leg work is important. Not every movement that's single arm needs to be unilateral as well. What we can do is incorporate 2 dumbbells at the same time, doing some shoulder presses. Okay. Any other movement, again, obviously lunges are a little bit different. Okay, or anything that obviously would then utilize one muscle group, one side as another, like box step-ups and such. The shoulder press is a great movement with dumbbells. Reason being is, one, you can see the movement itself, if there's any discrepancies in each side, okay? And you can also feel, how different does it feel on one side to the other, okay? I would suggest doing around about 8 to 10 reps of each movement, okay? Maybe you want to take a rest day, or you want to do something else that's going to be working on your weaknesses. For example, you may spend some time doing some rowing intervals, bike intervals, maybe some running, and then thereafter you'll then accessorize. I would stick to just once a week. So accessorize once a week. As you know, in our program, we have the hybrid system that's upstairs, which is fundamentally for this sort of scenario, okay? So the hybrid system upstairs, they would use unilateral work. It would isolate muscle groups as well. So you're predominantly using that muscle group through an 8 to 10 week cycle. Again, so it will strengthen then the compound lift. So for example, let's say, for example, you're deadlifting and you're not using your glutes and hamstrings effectively, or your range of motion is poor. If we were to then maybe utilize the time upstairs to do some glute and hamstring development, and also as well at the same time maybe look at doing some stretching, again, overall that's going to help you fundamentally with your movements. But yeah, all in all, as I say, just enjoy the process, guys, and hope this video helps.